Hi, everybody. Welcome back to It's Happening Now. Tonight is the 16th, Thursday the 16th. Um, I am your host, Scott. Two of our compadres are stuck out yet again. Chris is out. Say hi, Chris.
What up? What up?
Devin is unfortunately stuck out. Go ahead and say hi, Devin.
Par for the course. What's up, guys?
All right. And right below me is Greg.
I'm not here either. You can't.
He's
see
not
me.
there either. Yeah, only in
What's up,
spirit.
everybody?
So um, tonight we're going to be talking about Merrick Garland. I can never pronounce his name right. Is he a snake or a hero? Um, we'll talk about that. Michael Cohen caught in a lie, a big lie, a very big lie, and much more. So we will start with the Merrick Garland. Give me just a second to pull this up. I'm trying to find it. I got it. There we go. Oh no, where did it go? There it went.
Technical difficulties, people.
Technical difficulties. I'm not as proficient as these guys with this, but I got it. Give me just a hot second.
Typical.
Here we
Today
go.
was crazy,
Okay. There we
guys.
go.
Big, huge stories today.
It is.
Yes.
There's a lot of big stories today. So
There were.
first time as House Republicans vote to hold him in contempt. This is Merrick Garland. I'm sorry, I didn't read that whole headline. He is in trouble. He didn't show up for a
Subpoena.
subpoena. Thank you. And now he's in trouble for it. Quite honestly,
Oh, sweet.
he
Wait,
says,
what did he not show up for subpoena for?
well, okay, here's what he says. I'll read the thing real quick. It says, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland on Thursday told reporters that the Justice Department does not need to comply with a congressional subpoena because the DOJ is, in quotes, a fundamental institution of our democracy.
Above
So
the
that was,
law.
yeah, that was his excuse, right?
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that he thinks he's above the law.
Exactly. That's exactly what I believe that we're hearing also.
I-
But
Which is
Yeah.
funny.
That's the direct
because-
statement.
That's funny because nowhere
fool out there.
in the Constitution is it listed as the Department of Justice. It's a completely made up institution. We're not a democracy. I'm so tired of hearing a
Right.
Oh,
democracy.
dude, yes.
Tell
I am
people
tired of that too.
so many times, and people will start to believe it. And no way
No.
is the United States of America a democracy. We are a representative constitutional republic.
right,
We are not
Yes.
a democracy
right.
at all. Period. That's what they tell you when they want to take over your country. He's a snake. He has to be up there with the most corrupt attorney generals in the entire United States of America.
Right.
History.
All right.
Amen. I'm not a crook.
Yeah. For real, man. Every time I hear these stories about these people, Fannie Willis was one of them too. I don't have to comply with the subpoena. Now he's
Yeah.
saying it. It's like, what did they say again? I've said this before. What did they say to Trump? No one's above the law. No one's
Yeah.
above the law. Chanting that. He was the president of the United States and he was not above the law. But these people think for some reason that they have the right to do whatever they want, to ignore subpoenas. You are not allowed to do that. If you get a subpoena,
Right.
you have to show up to that court date. If you do not, contempt of court, you're going to jail. Like, that's how it works. Sorry. You know what I mean? It's
Right. Tonight they're holding the hearing or the vote. So hopefully we'll have some more on that tomorrow.
I mean, he
Yeah.
has systematically jailed people for practicing religion, praying outside of abortion clinics, which is freedom of religion and freedom to gather and freedom to protest. He has illegally arrested people who protested at the Capitol. These are straight up Stalin style political lawfare tactics.
Right.
We will control you with the threat of law. that he needs to be imprisoned. This entire administration and anybody who supports it needs to be imprisoned.
Right.
They have gone after Trump with fake allegations. They're going after Trump now with more fake allegations, which we're going to show you a video here in a little while, which is going to blow your mind because it's from CNN. He is a henchman. He's like the mob cleanup lawyer, and it's disgusting.
Right.
So I just want to kind of go into like some hypotheticals here, right? Let's say this country was a democracy. Okay. Now, when you get subpoenaed, right? That any person, like let's say Duffner were to get subpoenaed. Okay.
Hey.
Well, he is truly, as a citizen of the country,
Guilty.
of the democracy, he is
he's
the
guilty.
most important part of that democracy, right? So because he is the most important part of that democracy, being a person, a voter, or someone that makes up that democracy, therefore he shouldn't have to go in for a subpoena, right?
Right.
The institution is not the most important thing. The people are the most important thing, the voters. So the very fact that that a part of an institution, especially the one that's supposed to be the jail or the ones that go through and jail people or put people up for trial, things like that, which is what basically the Department of Justice does now. They are somehow now above law because they deem themselves the law itself. That is completely preposterous on any side of the law. Or any side of the aisle, if you're a Democrat or Republican. If you're a Democrat, you should be ashamed of yourself to even mention this in real life and mean it. That would, I don't know, any person that defends this is nuts.
Go back to the standardized statement that I made not too long ago. Lady Justice sits there with the scale. It's balanced, meaning nobody is that the law is not tilted for anybody at any stature or any occupation in America, and she's blind. So she doesn't care if you're black, white,
She's
Asian, rich, poor, homeless, or an alien from Alpha Centauri. Our laws are our laws. You break them, you go to jail. See, a true DOJ who's supposed to, even though it's not in the Constitution, act independently from the president, Congress, and all of them. He should have arrested Mayorkas for not enforcing our immigration laws.
Right.
That he should go in there and be investigating these corrupt lawyers and corrupt prosecutors. He should have said, look, Jack Smith, you are not you do not have the constitutional power to do what you're doing. I'm going to have to take it away from you. That is what a true law-abiding Department of Justice would do. He's not. He's a warfare Department of Justice, and that's why when he was nominated for Supreme Court, he was voted down because they knew what type of person he was.
Right.
This ain't they tried to put him in there under Obama, and he was denied.
Yep.
Wasn't it Obama?
It was Obama. Yes, it was Obama. Yep.
So just so I understand a little bit more about this, because I'll be honest, guys, we've been on the road, haven't really had a whole lot of time to read things like this. But was this subpoena specifically for the information that about the attorney generals that are trying to prosecute Trump? Was this that subpoena? Was this a different subpoena?
I am looking right now. So if you guys want to just fill the space for a minute.
Yeah, I don't remember, and I'm sorry, I got rid of the story already.
Because if this is for that subpoena, I mean, that is just, I mean, it's just them trying to hide their crimes. I mean, they're just shuffling around trying to hide anything they can. For what the Democrats always spout, they always say, what is that? What is it? Transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
They are never transparent.
So
ever.
what they want him for is they want Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for defying its request for audio recordings from the classified document case against President Biden or against President Trump.
Oh, okay.
Trump. Okay.
Or against President Biden. So apparently there's, I'm assuming with that there's recordings of him directing this. investigation.
Was it the one about the ones that were in his garage and stuff?
It might be. It could be. Yes, for Joe Biden's handling of classified documents, because
Okay.
Biden used executive privilege to hide the transcript from what was his hers, who was a special counsel investigating this, and they were basically told, "We're not giving that to you."
So
Biden is,
Untouchable, yeah.
privilege. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that
limits.
the person in the highest court in the highest office in the land does some really shady stuff
Yeah.
before he's ever in that highest office of the land, and then uses his power to hide it. And then
Yep.
the DOJ is just like, nothing to see
Okay.
here,
No.
and we won't even give it to it. We won't even give any information. That is abuse of authority.
All right. So right
Very
here
Abuse of
clearly.
power.
it says
Yes.
Republicans led by Reps Jim Jordan of Ohio, and James Comer of Kentucky had ordered the department to turn over audio of Hur's interviews with Biden by early April, but the Justice Department only turned over some of the records, excluding the audio interview with the president. They warned of the precedent that would be set for further investigations if the audio was provided. You mean what precedent? You just raided a ex-president's house. Assistant Attorney General Carlos, it looks like, but I think it's Urate, Uriarte. The department's head of congressional affairs said in the letter to Jordan and Comer last month that the committee's interest in these recordings may not be in service of legitimate oversight or investigatory functions, but serve political purpose that should have no role in the treatment of law enforcement files. Comer dismissed the rationale, saying in response that the Biden administration does not get to determine what Congress needs and does not need for its oversight of the executive branch. Contempt charges require majority support in committee, and then the support of the full House before the floor would be sent to the Justice Department. Should the House hold Garland in contempt, it is unlikely that the Justice Department, which Garland oversees, would prosecute him. The last time an Attorney General was held in contempt was 2012. That was when the GOP-controlled House voted to make Attorney General Eric Holder also very corrupt. The first sitting cabinet member to be held in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over documents related to the gun-running operation known as Operation Fast and Furious. The Justice Department took no action against Holder. The special counsel in Biden's case, Hur, spent a year investigating the president's improper retention of classified documents, which he should have never had. He did not have document clearance to keep as vice president, nor as senator. These came from senator. He should have been arrested immediately for that. From his time as a senator or as vice president, the result was a 345-page report that questioned Biden's age and mental competence, but recommended no criminal charges for the 81-year-old. Hur said he found insufficient evidence to successfully prosecute a case in court. Bullcrap. So that's all I'm going to read there. Total corruption.
Yep.
The laws are for thee; they're not for me.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said,
What
man,
I-
they spent all that time chanting that no one's above the law. Whole time, a lot of Democrats were breaking the law even then. You know,
Yep.
you're right. It's total corruption.
Total
We can break the
corruption.
law. We're better than you. And if you do it, we will come at you with the full
Force
extent
of the law.
Yeah,
Yep.
the full force
Right.
of the law. Yeah.
But
So
what I did hear there, I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong, but even if they hold him in contempt of Congress, it still doesn't mean that the Department of Justice will do anything about
well,
it.
why would they? He's
So-
the lead.
Well,
He's
right,
their
but that
guy.
means there is no measure for anyone to take down or to imprison the people that are in charge.
That is why the Department of Justice should not exist.
Right.
And I
there's
see
that,
it, and
but-
you see it, and this is a clear cut proof to the American public that these institutions that we have put in
And-
place are a what do you call it, a back
Monarchy?
back door through our system. Yeah,
Yeah.
a monarchy basically.
Dude, bird scared the hell out of me, dude. I thought I was about to run over somebody. It flew
Speaking
out
of
the door. I was like, "Ah."
corruption, what about the Michael Cohen thing? Greg, did you
All
find
right.
a story on that?
Yep, I do have a story on that, and
Oh,
I'm going to bring it up. This is about
Right.
8-9 minutes, but this is huge. Just look. This is Anderson Cooper reporting on Michael Cohen's testimony today. And if
Remember
you're like
Anderson.
any of us, you will be flabbergasted. For those that don't know that word, I mean, you will be blown away. We're going to bring this up, and we're going to let you have the whole screen for this.
With us, Anderson, Howard Court. You were there all morning.
I gotta say, there was a lot of boring moments early on. There was a lot of meandering cross-examination, or seemingly meandering cross-examination by Todd
Turn it
Bland.
up a little bit.
The last 20 minutes of court today, right before the lunch break, it was incredible. I mean, it was, Ellie Honig on my program last night had talked about, on a cross-examination, lawyers want to kind of put the witness in build a box around the witness and then slam it shut. That's what Todd Blanche did to Michael Cohen. I mean, the story, the Todd Blanche just methodically went through this sequence of events of this phone conversation that alleged that Michael Cohen had testified to previously. That he had this consequential phone conversation with Donald Trump. It was a 90-second phone conversation. I believe it was October 24th was the date that it was testified to in around 8 p.m. or so at night. But Todd Blanche on his cross-examination today.
It's time for me to get set up for therapy, and I use this room as my office. But the desk is over here, and so
We don't want no commercials.
I'll bring it back up after the ad. I can't stand that.
Why do they have to? Why does it have to exist?
I was like, what is that? That's not the video.
That time frame. And there had been this series, I guess, of crank calls that Michael Cohen had received. It turned out to be from some 14-year-old. There was an exchange of messages between the alleged 14-year-old and Michael Cohen. And then Michael Cohen texts Keith Schiller at like 7:50 something or 7:48 p.m. Saying, hey, I've got some dope has been harassing me. I got the person's phone number. Who can I talk to? Keith Schiller texts him back saying, call me. And Michael Cohen calls Keith Schiller. This is the conversation that previously Michael Cohen had said he was calling to speak to Donald Trump to tell him that he was going ahead with the Stormy Daniels arrangement and that Trump approved it, which was a crucial to Michael Cohen's whole raison d'etre for being on the stand. He's the only person testifying to direct involvement by Donald Trump in the Stormy Daniels payments. But according to suddenly now Michael Cohen's refreshed memory, he now says, oh, it was a call about this 14-year-old making crank phone calls to me, but also about the moving ahead on Stormy Daniels. Todd Blanche was incredulous, his voice cracking, his voice raising up, moving around the courtroom, speaking, saying that what the jury doesn't want to hear, him guessing, it wants to hear facts. It was an extraordinary cross-examination by Todd Blanche. And, Michael Cohen's, throughout the day, Michael Cohen, when he found himself in a corner, he does have a pattern of suddenly not understanding the question that's being asked, or seemingly kind of, one could say buying time to try to figure out how he wants to answer. But he definitely suddenly starts to, have Todd Blanche repeat questions and say, I don't quite understand what you mean. I'm confused by the question. But this time, Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie, I think, to many in the room, and had to adjust suddenly his memory that he had just testified to on Tuesday. Ellie, you pointed out just right before the commercial break, if jurors don't believe Michael Cohen, how significant that might be. He was, it is hard to, I wonder how prosecutors are going to redirect on this, because Todd Blanche also pointed out, or got Michael Cohen to admit that he had not seen these text messages in the prep by prosecutors. So he had apparently had no memory of those text messages. And the implication is that he concocted, he was shown that there was a phone call to Keith Schiller at this time by prosecutors in the prep. And the implication, certainly by Todd Blanche, is that he concocted this story of what that 90-second phone call was not realizing that there were text messages right ahead that directly related it and right after that directly related it.
So Anderson, obviously this resonated with you as a courtroom observer. Did you happen to see anything in the jury box? Were you able to pick up on any reaction from the jurors?
I mean, these jurors are not, as you know, as people, a lot of people have said, and I've seen before, you know, they do not show reaction. But you could tell the import of the moment, and everybody in the courtroom could tell. And if you were unaware of it, the clicking of every reporter in the room's typewriters, it was like a crescendo, because the drama of the moment was so clear to everybody in the room. But the jurors showed nothing on their faces, but they were watching incredibly intently. And you know, Todd Blanche essentially stopped the cross-examination when said to the judge, you know, maybe this is a good time for a lunch break, and the judge agreed. So this is what the jurors are going to think to lunch. I was talking to Norm Eisen on the way out from court, who was saying, you know, Todd Blanche should try to keep the cross-examination going all the way till through the afternoon, not allowing the prosecution to redirect, so that for the next 3 days, jurors are just have Michael Cohen's testimony to mull over.
Yeah, that's a common tactic. Anderson, let me ask you, if I can put you in the jury box, having just witnessed that piece of cross-examination, do you have doubts that that conversation happened the way Michael Cohen testified on his direct examination? That he called something.
I think it's absolutely. I think it's devastating. I mean, for Michael Cohen's credibility on this. I mean, in this one particular topic, whether it's, you know, he just didn't. I mean, it's hard to. I don't know. Yes, I think if I was a juror in this case,
we're gonna go ahead and leave it right there.
It's funny to hear Anderson Cooper have to say that. You know what I mean?
You hear him flip with the words. I don't met it. No.
He just had to say it.
Yes. It's so damaging.
It's so bad that yes, it was damning. It's damning
beyond a shadow.
That's the first time you saw that. Scott, what did you think?
Yeah, it doesn't look good for him at all. I mean, I would say, look, if I was in that jury and, you know, you're getting a lot of stammering and thinking back and, well, I forgot and this, that, and the other, I'm going to think you lied about the whole thing, whether you really did or not. My brain is going to say he's lying or he's covering something up, and that's not going to bode well for him. So
it's been pretty much he's already got in trouble,
right,
for lying. You know what I'm saying? He's already been. I mean, a judge called him a serial liar, a serial perjurer. You know what I mean? He's already gone to jail a lot for perjury. Right. So he was their star witness. He's the only one that could tie Trump to this whole fiasco.
Right.
And that's over now. Right. I mean, that is completely over with him getting caught in a lie, saying, no, this 92-second phone call was when I called Trump, you know, to tell him I'm moving ahead with the stormy engines. Now we know that's a lie. Right. It wasn't even Trump.
We know that. And not only that, but like my only question to this with them catching him up in them lies is, so where do the Democrats go from here? What's the next felony that they try to charge Donald Trump with that makes no sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if they can really go anywhere. I mean, this is a complete shutting down case now. This is over.
It should be, yes. 100% should be.
So but, I mean, I don't know where they're going to go. Am I breaking
I don't either. Yeah. No.
I don't think there's anywhere they can go. You know what I mean? Where are they going to go? Where you know what I mean? They're low on gas with no case.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do? How do they get there?
All right.
You know what? I think I got it. I got the next case. Okay. Trump ate the wrong grape. Okay. That's going to be the next case, because it's got to be something completely stupid for anything to even come out now at this point. There's nothing they have left.
I mean, I got another thing where, who was this? Elise Stefanik. I can't pronounce her
Stefanik.
name.
Yeah. Stefanik
crushes a novice rep on basically election interference against Trump. You know what I mean? I can bring that story up real quick if you guys like.
Yeah, you're running the show, bro.
Yeah.
I have it right here if you want me to bring it
I
up.
got it. Give me just a hot second. I got it.
Just real quick, I just never thought I would ever agree with
With Anderson
with
Cooper.
Anderson freaking Cooper.
Right.
Anderson Cooper doesn't want to agree with you, but he had to. He had no choice. He had no other option to say than to say what he said.
What did he do? Stop that. All right, so there it is. Eviscerates novice rep Goldman in a scathing lesson on the misuse of political lawfare used to interfere in election against Trump. There is a video at the bottom if you guys want to hear it. It's
Of course.
listen to it. It was, I think, about 3 minutes long.
I like
Genius University.
Skip that.
Drinking
Sorry.
coffee
Make it
every
big.
day didn't work
Yeah.
for me. But
Yeah,
I
hold
couldn't
on.
figure
I gotta
out
skip
why
this real quick.
until I
Give
got
us
some
money. You're at
There, Scott.
Yeah, right
full size. There you go.
there.
I don't think this is it.
This is not it. You're right. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on.
We're in
Where the
trouble
heck
now.
did
This
it
is
go?
funny
We
though.
just got
This
sued
is
by a
funny.
dead man.
Yeah.
I know. Wait.
All right. It's
I
up-
swear
it's
that
up
was
higher.
it. Hold on. Where did it
It's up
go?
higher.
I
I saw it. I saw it.
Technical difficulties. This is typical.
Always.
Yeah, keep going up. Keep
Oh,
going up. Keep going up.
This one.
No, that's not a
No,
video.
that's just a, yeah. Gosh darn it. That's just the ad. Go back.
And unless that was it.
I think that was, but it's, I watched it and then I paused.
found it. I
Oh,
found it.
okay.
I found it.
Here, let me take this off the screen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Bring it
There
down,
we go.
Scott.
Yeah.
Get it off the screen.
There it is. I watched it, and then when I paused it, it must have gone on to something else. So
It's coming up. We are
yeah, I've got ads.
we are skipping the video. All right, it's up.
The video ad.
All right. Are we ready? Let me bring it back up. And we are ready to roll.
Down here, outside of that courtroom, while that witness is on the stand to try to impeach his credibility and his testimony, is jury tampering. You know it is unethical. You know that you are trying to discredit a current witness at a current trial who is testifying right now outside of that courtroom. You know better, and it is shameful. Mr. Trusty, you and I worked together at the Department of Justice. We had
How long has
a
this
number
been?
of interactions related to organized crime. I had no idea what your politics were. I imagine you had no idea what my politics were, because it doesn't matter. And it's very interesting to hear you now nitpick about the Speedy Trial Act and about what you claim to be unprecedented conduct in Mar-a-Lago. But I'm confident that you never came across anyone who refused a request to voluntarily return classified materials, who refused to comply with a subpoena for those classified materials, who was found to intentionally conceal and hide and obstruct justice by concealing those classified documents. You've never come across, that is unprecedented, I am certain, because that is a clear predicate for a search warrant. When someone obstructs justice, refuses to comply with the subpoena, and Mr. Issa can make up all of the facts that he wants about declaring it to be classified because he thought it or whatever it is, that will be decided in court. All of these cases will be decided in court by a jury based on the facts, evidence, and the law. And all the Republican majority is trying to do here today is lawfare, is interfere in ongoing criminal investigations that our system is perfectly well equipped to handle. And I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. I now recognize Ms. Stefanik
for 5 minutes.
Oh, I love being able to respond to the novice from New York. First of all, thank you so much for stating the obvious that political lawfare is in fact election interference. That's what we're seeing with the sham Alvin Bragg trial. Thank you also to the novice freshman member for New York, highlighting that withholding military aid to an ally for a political purpose, just like Joe Biden is doing to Israel. Always grateful for you stepping in it. Mr. Costello, in your opening statement, you said that in the over 50 years serving as a lawyer, you, quote, have never seen the types of politically motivated cases that have been brought in this presidential election season. These political cases are being used as a weapon of war to damage, defeat, or impede political adversaries and their allies. Instead of political warfare, it is lawfare, a cancer upon our collective judicial system. I want to begin with Alvin Bragg's weaponized sham trial in New York. Isn't it true that in Alvin Bragg's campaign for Manhattan DA, Bragg specifically ran on going after President Donald Trump?
That is true.
Isn't it true that Bragg's predecessor, Cy Vance, declined to prosecute President Trump?
That is true.
And the FEC also did not prosecute President Trump.
That is true.
And the DOJ did not prosecute President Trump in this case.
The DOJ referring to the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District?
Correct.
Absolutely true.
And one of the reasons the Southern District of New York turned down this case was because the supposed star witness, according to Alvin Bragg, Michael Cohen, was totally, quote, unworthy of belief. Isn't that true?
Without a doubt.
This is the same Michael Cohen who pled guilty to 7 counts in an indictment that had absolutely nothing to do with President Trump and actually predated the first time he met President Trump, correct?
Absolutely true.
And in fact, this is the same Michael Cohen who perjured himself to Congress. Isn't that true?
Yes.
In fact, when called as a witness in this sham trial, Cohen was asked directly if he was honest during his testimony to Congress. He said no, admitting perjury. But it's not just Bragg's case that is a total sham and illegal political lawfare going after Joe Biden's top political opponent, Donald Trump. This rot goes deep all the way up to the top in the Oval Office. Because when Congress referred this admission of Cohen's perjury to Joe Biden's DOJ, isn't it true that the DOJ has refused to prosecute?
That is true.
Isn't it correct that Michael Colangelo, who was the 3rd highest ranking official in Biden's DOJ, was transferred to Bragg's office to run this weaponized prosecution of President Trump? Isn't that true?
Not only true, but it's unheard of.
Unheard of. It's a disgrace. Do you agree that this weaponization of lawfare goes straight to the top with the purpose of helping Joe Biden's failing presidential campaign?
The circumstantial evidence definitely supports that.
And the unconstitutional gag order on President Trump from New York Judge Merchant is unprecedented lawfare.
As far as I know, absolutely.
And let's go to the daughter of the judge. Isn't it true that she is raising millions of dollars off of this sham case?
Well, I have to say I've read that in the media. I don't know it of my own knowledge.
It is true.
Thank you.
One additional question. I want to talk about the rigged and unprecedented jury selection process. Isn't it true that Bragg's team asked the jurors if they followed Trump on social media?
Yes.
And isn't it true that they did not ask any of the potential jurors if they followed Biden on social media?
Or Michael Cohen.
Or Michael
Yes.
Cohen.
Yeah.
And isn't it true that 87% of the jurors said they voted for Joe Biden?
That's true.
Is this unprecedented and lawfare jury shopping?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Jury
Political
tampering.
lawfare for the purpose of election interference to go after Donald Trump. Do you agree?
Totally.
This is one of the reasons that Trump's polls continue to skyrocket. And it's why President Trump will win in 2024 to end the illegal and warped weaponization of the justice system. Because if they can illegally go after Trump, they can go after anyone. I yield back.
And right there, you have it.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who you support or who you like in this election. This is scary, dangerous stuff because it doesn't matter if they win at this, our freedoms are gone.
Right.
You can't fight the system
Right.
unless every American stands up against it. And then you know what happens then? It's called a revolutionary fight.
Right.
And that's ugly everywhere. We have to
Yeah,
gotta
nobody
nip
wants
this in the
that.
bud. Nope.
Yep. Yeah, that was crazy because I know I was a part of a jury duty one time, and
Yeah.
dude, there was this chick who followed the not the victim or the victim, followed the victim on Facebook. And because she did that, she got kicked right off. You know what I mean? Because that's, you know, there's conflict of interest. You know what I mean? It's, you know, the victim, and then you got the defense lawyer over there. Like, you can't be here. You know what I mean? You're going to, it's going to be conflict of interest.
It's a biasy, you know.
Yes, you can't do that.
Feelings. Yep. So,
But,
I mean,
wrap it up, bro. I got to get in there and get this paperwork in there.
You good, you good.
I'm standing outside.
I can see that. I can see clouds. I can see.
I'm trying to keep all the signs and the trailers out of the picture.
Yeah.
So with that, we will say goodnight. We gave everybody a lot to think about. Remember to like, subscribe, share, please. It's all free. Greg, what do they got to do?
Ring that bell.
There
Ring
you go.
ding, ding. I'm gonna get a bell and I'm gonna start ringing that so I come back.
I might buy you a bell, bro. So,
all right, everybody.
Everybody say goodnight.
Yep.
And
y'all have
we
a
will
good
see
one.
you all tomorrow for Fun Friday.
All
Same
right.
time,
Yep.
same channel.
Yep. Have a good one,
We'll
guys.
see you tomorrow.
See
Later,
you
you guys.
later.